guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Fake Ghosting Friend Who Needs a Friend Only When She Needs Something. I had a so-called friend who only called or showed up every few months. Keep in mind that I knew she only messaged me when she needed something. For the most part, one did nothing for her, so it did not bother me. This time she came calling with a, "Hi, you have forgotten me. You have not said hi in a while and I wanted to see how you were doing." I replied with, "Hey, same here, I have not heard from you for a few months. How's the new apartment and living with your BF finally?" She said all was swell and that they were getting along fine. She asked if she could come hang out since she needed a break from her BF, and since I live alone and have 3 empty bedrooms I could make some room for her, lol. I asked her, does your BF know that she was coming and that I do not feel comfortable with her staying at the house? I do not want to cause issues with her BF. She said it was alright and that her BF was working and knows that she hangs out with friends and family. She spent the weekend, ate my food, did her laundry, and then the reason of her visit came out. She told me that she was looking for a car and that she needed help from me to find it. I am car savvy but not a mechanic by any means. I said I would look for something similar to what she was looking for. After a week, she said that she found the perfect one, and sent me the info. I said, "It looked good but you might want to take it to a mechanic to check it out." She then asked me to come hang out at my house again. I again asked about her BF and she said that it was fine. When she got to my house she immediately started talking about the car and that she needed help and that she would really appreciate it if I help her out. I asked with what. She said, "Money is tight. I would like to see if I can contribute to my car fund." I said, "I honestly do not have any money to spare. I pay all of my bills, and I am simply trying to save for things that I want. I suggest you do that as well." She stopped talking about it and the next day she went home without saying a word. I did not hear from her for a month and she finally texted me again. This time being really pushy. "Would you do me the favor of taking me to look at a car?" I asked, when, and she said, "Sunday." I told her, I have family things to take care of. She then asked, "How about the weekend after?" I asked, "Where is it?" She said, "In a city 2 hours away. Drive to take me there and look at the car. Make sure that it is good to buy and then I would buy it." I told her, that is too far. That would mean I would lose my whole Sunday. My only day off to take care of my things at home. I asked her, "Why doesn't your boyfriend go with you?" She said, "He uses Sundays to clean the apartment, wash clothes and shop for food." By then I really got the picture. I replied, "Well, so do I. Besides, I have not felt comfortable with you staying at my house and now want me to drive 2 hours each way to help you with a car. That is BF territory. Ask your BF to do those things with you." She then said, "I showed my mom and brother and sister what you said. They all think it was kind of messed up that you as a friend won't help when you are my friend who specializes in cars and I rely on my friends. If you don't think you can help me then I don't think we can be friends." I replied, "Well then you and your family take care." I have not heard from her since. I do not need friends like that. The next story is titled When the Artist is the Beggar. Just a small story I found interesting about a very weird time an artist offered to draw something without discussing payment, then demanded payment. Before we get bent out of shape, listen to the whole story. It's not a crazy one but I don't really feel like I was in the wrong. I pay all my artists and I usually don't even ask for any sort of discount for long-standing relationships. I believe people should be paid. Anyway. Last year I lost my 2 cats, Harley and Domino. One had kidney failure and the other we found already gone. It was really heartbreaking for me specifically because when I got them, I had nothing else. I was renting a decrepit house that had a roommate who couldn't pay rent, and my weak ass didn't throw him out. That's on me, and I've learned from that bit. But I only had 2 things that really saved me back then, streaming and these 2 cats. So when they passed it just stung more than you thought it would, you know? Naturally, I talked about it a lot on stream. I had, and still have, a loving community that supported me a ton. I had acquired 2 new viewers who were a couple. The girlfriend didn't really chat at all but the boyfriend was always talking and interacting. When my cat passed he said to me, "My girlfriend wants to draw your cats, do you have any pictures?" And I said that'd be really cool. I specifically remember saying, if you wanted to like do a doodle or sketch or something that'd be cool. If you send me the paper it's on I'll have it professionally framed and we can put it on stream. He agreed. This is the important bit. No other discussions on this happened after I sent my cat's pictures to him. I did talk to his girlfriend, but she didn't mention this being any sort of a commission either. We just spoke about how much I loved my cats really. At no point did we discuss his girlfriend was an artist by trade, nor did we discuss payment. I thought a viewer wanted to be sweet, and was looking to pass the time. Otherwise I would have discussed payment, agreed to the price, and handled it. A week or so goes by and I get a message showing the line art. It was on a small piece of canvas. It was really good. At this point I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. I didn't know you were such a good artist. And this is when I got snagged. She said, thank you. Yeah, so I'll finish up the colors and I'll even put it in a frame for you. I'm thinking $50 plus shipping, which I'll send in a flat rate box to be more cost effective. Does that work okay? Wait, what? I tell her I'm confused. I didn't know this was a commission. Oh. I'm sorry, I thought you knew what this was. No, I literally said, I'd love to see a little doodle on stream and that if you send me the doodle, I would frame it. Who refers to a wonderful commissioned piece of art as a doodle? You also didn't give me your rates, not did you mention you did art by trade. That's like step 1. What if I can't pay? Usually if you're trying to make money, you let people know. Regardless, I explain I had no idea this was a commission, and we didn't discuss that this was a paid piece all. She apologized and offered me $35 in free shipping. I reluctantly agreed, because I thought the art was nice and I didn't want to be an a-hole. But I had an artist effectively have me commission her, without ever having commissioned her. I explained after that if commissions are happening, it's best if both parties agree on a price, a size, and a time frame. Just doing the work and expecting payment when it was never asked for, is bad business. That's like the weird guy who washes windows at a stoplight. Kinda odd. The next story is titled Drive on My Lawn Without Asking Me? Fine, hope you like tire damage. I live on an end townhouse and have a side yard, that while it's legally my property, I need to leave it accessible because it's only way for my neighbors to bring things into their backyard when they can't carry them through their house. So back to the story. I got home yesterday and noticed that there were tire tracks going all the way up my side yard and onto my patio and soda cans thrown into a hole I recently dug so I could plant a pear tree. Which really angry me off because while my side yard isn't taken care of, long grass and way too many weeds, it's still my property. Now this wasn't the first time. This happens pretty much every summer. I'll come home after a day out and there'll be tire tracks in my yard and cans everywhere. Sometimes a neighbor will come up and ask if they can drive up my side yard the next day, so they don't have to carry heavy things, and I'll say yes because thank you for asking, but when someone doesn't ask and I come home to the flattened grass and cans of soda thrown around my yard, So last night after eating, I was digging around in my laundry room, storage room looking for my toolkit because my dining table need fixing when I accidentally set my hand down on a couple of nails that were loose on the floor. And that's when it came to me. I collected as many nails as I could find and put them in a plastic bag and set it by my front door. On my way out today, while it was still dark, I grabbed the bag and carefully set the nails on and near the tire tracks hidden from view by the overgrown grass while quietly laughing to myself. Because when I came home yesterday, the people who lived 2 houses down from me were talking how they were going to drive up my yard to make it easier to get their new barbecue into their yard. I literally walked right past them and said hi, and they even returned my greeting but didn't think to ask me if it was okay. So today when I get home, fingers crossed. In the past I've had my nicer neighbors, the ones I idiot about this, to tell me to install a fence. Not a large wooden one like the ones that separate my property from my neighbors, but one with a gate so people can still drive up, but they'll have to get my permission beforehand. And that way if someone gets into my yard without asking me, they would have had to cut a lock so I can just call the police on them. I don't know if that last part about the police is true, but I think I might install that fence because I do want to get my yard in good shape so I can start a garden. As I'm typing this, I realize that I've actually had a lot of horrible neighbors and gotten revenge on almost all of them. I mean, I once had a neighbor try to kill a groundhog that lived under their front step, a neighbor throw glass and beer cans over our shared fence leading me to once step on a piece of glass from a wine bottle, and a neighbor cut down a city-planted tree that wasn't even on their property. Update. I got home about 30 minutes ago and sure enough, in my side yard was the large black truck of my neighbors 2 doors down. I couldn't help myself and start laughing. The 2 men came around from behind my house and asked me what was so funny. I could see that the tires on the left side of the car had some of the nails in them, so I very nicely pointed it out to them. They then started arguing with each other, blaming the other one for spilling the nails. As I started towards my front door, I told them to ask me next time they wanted to drive up my yard and offered to replace their tires if they bought them and paid me for my labor. About 10 minutes later, they knocked on my door and apologized before going home. They also gave me a plastic bag full of the other nails I had put out. And next Sunday, for $100 per tire, I'm going to be replacing their tires. Honestly, I'm happy. I'm getting $300, they're going to be out more than $400, which is apparently less than the auto shops near us. They only going to have one car for the next week, and I'll be having one less car driving into my yard. And I definitely think they're going to ask me next time. Update. So, I've spent the last hour reading about the laws and even spoke to my lawyer, and with all the information I've gotten, it seems that I'm actually under no legal obligation to let people drive up in my side yard. So, if I wanted, I could put up a fence that blocks their complete access to my yard. Final update. To everyone saying I should have talked to my neighbors before going to Crazy Town, I have numerous times. I told these two in April when they drove up my lawn to install their patio table and chairs, and they promised they ask me. Every time I've caught neighbors with their cars on my lawn, I explain to them to ask because it's my property, and they say sure, but then the next time comes around and they don't. The youngest kids on my street are 12 and 13 and don't come onto my lawn without asking me each time, so no kids would have been hurt, and the side yard is my property. I don't have to let people drive up or even walk on it to get to their backyards. And about the neighbor with the groundhog. Where I live, groundhogs aren't considered pests. People see them as rabbits or squirrels or the outdoor cat. My neighbor mentioned it to me, and I offered to call animal control or remove it myself, but she told me that she was going to trap it and let it starve to death in the trap, which if someone did to a cat or dog or a pet rabbit, bird, hamster or whatever would be considered animal abuse. And I'm sorry, but I don't think an animal should have to suffer like that. The next story is titled Free Gift Wrapping Isn't Pretty Enough. I used to work for an independent family-owned toy store in a fairly affluent area. We did really heavy business on Saturdays because of birthday parties. We had lots of regulars who would swing by on the way to the party to pick up a toy and take advantage of our free gift wrap service. We offered colorful, gender-neutral, fish pattern, paper, but no ribbons or bows because it would usually come off when the gift was bagged. We had bows for purchase if the customer wanted one, usually between $1 and $3 per bow. It's a typical Saturday around 11 a.m. and the place is packed. It's a tiny store, we have 2 registers. Both are open, but the line still has about 5 people in it. Everyone's pretty chill though. I'm behind the counter doing the gift wrapping. After a year or so at this job, I'd gotten pretty fast. We wanted good quality on the wrapping, but we wanted to get the line moving just as much, so speed was essential. I don't remember what this older Karen bought, but it was for a baby shower. She has already paid for her item and has stepped aside to wait for me to gift wrap. The toy was in a box with an open angled front, I do recall. So not the most even thing to wrap. I do my best, there's no holes, no great lumps, no tape showing. Just for fun, let's count the number of times I say free. I go to hand it to her and she says, "Where's the girl paper?" Me. "This is the paper we have for our free gift wrap service." During this exchange, another 2 items have appeared on the counter to be wrapped for other customers. Karen. "It's for a baby shower." Me, sad face. Annoyed but trying to be polite. "Yes ma'am. This is our free paper we offer as a courtesy. We have some other options of gift wrap for purchase. If you'd like to buy one of those, I'd be happy to wrap it for you again." Not supposed to do that, but I really was trying to be nice. Karen. "I'm not standing in that line again. Another employee has begun wrapping the other gifts behind me. Can't you do it better?" Me. Blinking rapidly, "Sure ma'am." I begin taking off the paper. What a waste, and I pull a new piece off the roll. I have to share the space with the other worker who is helping keep up with the line, and our counter is tiny, but I manage. Karen, "You don't have a box?" Me. "No, ma'am, we don't offer boxes as part of our free gift wrap." I finish the second wrap and again try to hand her the gift, somehow still smiling. Karen points to paper, "See how this side sticks up? I don't like that." I only say something because the child's grandmother will be there and I want the gift to be pretty. Me, is the gift for the grandmother or the baby? "Ma'am, I really can't do anything about that due to the shape of the box and the shape of the toy. We do have gift bags for sale if you would like." I could put some tissue in for you. Again, not really supposed to do that, but we always have tissue paper behind the counter. Karen. No, it's fine, just fix this side. Me. I'll wrap it for free. 4. One more time. At this point the cashier, who is my boss and the owner of the store, turns to me and says, don't wrap it again. You're done. He turns to the lady and says, we gift wrap for free. 5. Not for show. Take it or return it. She took it, red-faced and mumbling about how she probably shouldn't have made a stink about something free. The next story is titled That's Not Enough, I'm Thirsty as Hell. Back in 2003, I was going to go to a Reverend Horton Heat concert with my best friend at the time, who we'll call Landon, and his girlfriend, who we'll call Karen. Neither is very important to this story, but she was a total Karen and the meme didn't exist at the time, so I just had to label her as such. We lived in Fort Worth and the concert was in Dallas, about an hour drive. We planned to save money on drinks by already being tipsy when we arrived, but Landon's El Camino didn't have air conditioning and it was the middle of a Texas summer, so we didn't want our beer to get warm. As such, we decided to stop at a gas station on the way to buy it and we would drink it once we parked at the venue. I was nominated to be the one to go in when we arrived. Outside I passed a homeless guy who looked like the Allstate guy, so I'll call him Dennis. He asked me to buy him a beer. I was in a good mood and had plenty of money to burn at the time. At least it seemed like it to me. How foolish I was. I told him sure. When inside I got some Guinness for my friends and Dennis had not mentioned what kind of beer he wanted, but I worked overnight at a gas station at the time myself and my experience was that homeless guys almost always bought Bud Ice. As such, I got him one of the large cans, either 24 or 32 ounces, but the biggest can they had, of Bud Ice. When I got outside I stopped to give it to him. He looked at it and said, this isn't enough, I'm thirsty as hell. He then turned his back to me and walked off. Karen commented as we drove off, I guess beggars can be choosers. That line and this story popped into my head immediately upon finding out about this sub. That nasty can sat in my fridge for weeks, until the next time my friend Kevin, who I've posted about in the appropriate sub, came over and drank it. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.